Hi, this is Christy. Let's do another word problem together. I'll be referring to my Solving Math Word Problems checklist as I go. Step number 1, understand the problem. Read and reread the problem, and then visualize or draw. Alex, Bill, and Chris agreed to share any lottery prize they won in a ratio of 5 to 3 to 2. Alex to Bill to Chris. They won $50,000. How much did each get? So as I reread, I'm just going to make some notes of any numbers or important information. Alex, Bill, and Chris, okay, there's 3 friends or co-workers, agreed to share any lottery prize they won in a ratio of 5 to 3 to 2. Isn't that interesting? Usually we've been working with ratios comparing 2 numbers, but you can have 3 or even more. Alex to Bill to Chris. Now notice, as you are reading across the ratio, it's going to correspond with the way it's also written here. So Alex is the 5, Bill is the 3, Chris is the 2. They won $50,000. How much did each get? So how could I visualize this? Maybe drawing some money? Okay, and it's shared between 3 people. 1, 2, 3. It's shared between Alex, Bill, and Chris. Now, who gets the most? Remember, Alex got the ratio of 5. His number was 5. Bill got 3 and Chris got 2. So Alex has the most. He's got the most parts of the ratio. Okay. I didn't see any unknown words. Let's determine what the question is asking us to find. We need to find how much did each person get. It's going to be in the form of dollars. Do we have all of the information that we need? Identify required, extra, or missing information. We have the total, and we have the way it's going to be split, and we have the number of people that are going to split it, so I do think we have the information that we need. Step number 2, make a plan to solve the problem. Come up with a strategy and estimate the answer. Okay, my plan is going to be to determine the number of parts or shares. Determine the number of shares. Once I do that, I'm going to be able to calculate how much each person gets. Calculate each person's share. So let's try and come up with a good estimate while we're going here. How many shares are there in total? This is where you get that information. Alex gets 5 parts or 5 shares. Bill gets 3 and Chris gets 2. 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 2 is 10. So there are 10 shares. And it looks like Alex gets half of them. So I am pretty sure that Alex is going to get half of that $50,000. And I know that without doing any calculations, really. Alex gets gets half of $50,000. That leaves $25,000 left. Bill gets 3 parts of it, while Chris only gets 2. So Bill gets slightly more than Chris. If Alex got half of 50, that was $25,000. What will be left? The other half, which is $25,000. So Chris and Bill are going to share $25,000 between them, with Bill getting slightly more than half of that and Chris getting slightly less than half of that. All right, let's move on now. Step number 3, solve the problem. Write out all work neatly, make several attempts to solve the problem, don't give up, and then double check your math. All right, step number 1, determine the number of shares. We said it was exactly 10. We added them up, 5 to 3 to 2. Just add up those numbers. 10 shares. That was easy. Step number 2, calculate each person's share. That's going to be slightly harder. We have to do 3 calculations then because there's 3 people. Alex gets 5 shares. How much is each share worth? Take the total amount of money and divide it by the number of shares. 50,000 divided by 10, I can cancel a 0 off each one, and I get $5,000. Each share is worth $5,000. And Alex gets 5 shares. 5,000 times 5 is 25,000. And that was our estimate up here, half of 50. So we were right on Alex. Bill and Chris are a little bit harder. Bill gets 3 shares. And it was $5,000 a share times 3. 5 times 3 is 15, and add your zeros. Bill gets 15,000. And Chris, again, it stays at $5,000 a share, gets 2 shares. 5,000 times 2 is 10,000. And I've completed both of the items that I said I was going to for my plan. Let's go back to the checklist now. Let's try double checking our math. I just did most of it in my head, but we can actually get our calculator out. I'm going to assume that I was able to add 5 plus 3 plus 2 and get 10. I did that a couple of times in my head. Now, let's figure it out though. The total windfall that they won was $50,000. Wouldn't that be nice? 50,000. Divide that by 10 shares. And I get 5,000. And that's what I said. $5,000 per share. 5,000 times 5 would give us Alex's. There it is, 25,000. How about Bill? 5,000 times 3. 15,000. There it is. How about Chris? 5,000 times 2. $5,000 per share times 2 shares, 10,000. Good. Our math turned out to be just fine. Step number 4, reflect on the problem. Did you answer the question? Is your answer close to the estimate? To answer the problem, we had to determine how much each of the men got. So our answer should be in dollar form. Alex got 25,000. Bill got 15,000. And Chris got 10,000. If we did it right, when we add all those up, it should be 50,000. 25 plus 15 is 40, plus 10 is 50. Yeah, we add them up and we do get 50,000. So this is how they would split up their lottery winnings. Great job.